Will narcissists get their karma after they get old? Every victim of a narcissist wants to know, will a narcissist ever get their karma? There is no simple yes or no response to this inquiry. In this case, the answer is neither yes nor no. It's a bit involved and intricate. Why? Allow me to explain this episode. Karma and narcissists are the topics of today's show. Will they understand? Yes. If you find this topic intriguing and would like to learn more, you can do so by pressing the subscription button and then the B button. Current events as posted by me. To begin, let's establish some ground rules. Most narcissists get away with the damage they cause and keep their wealth, so if I told you they always get what they deserve, I'd be lying. On the other hand, it wouldn't be fair of me to claim that they don't deserve their karma. Why? Because they've all reached old age, and as everyone knows, old age brings frailty and exposure. Consequently, they have the least influence on the people and places around them. In order to elicit a proper response, we must first alter the question. The question we should be asking is not whether or not narcissists will get their karma, but rather whether or not they are getting it now. Their very existence is their karmic payback. Exactly how and why. I'll explain it to you in a moment. First, they don't exist outside of a made-up universe. Thus, everything that happens to them is karma. The foundation of their existence is a lie. Consider this as a kid who, in an effort to hide their true identity, crafted a persona to fool everyone. They are full to the brim with the humiliation, guilt, and other unpleasant feelings that they have avoided facing in their genuine selves. They went the easy route. They picked up on how to manipulate others. They had already determined that using deception, lies, and deliberate misinformation to advance their goals would be the most effective strategy. This is what they would choose to do, and it's what they're doing now and for the rest of their lives. However, there was a price to pay for it. They severed ties with who they really were. They plateaued as a result of a snag in their maturation. They had lost their genuineness, which manifested itself as numerous discrepancies, phoniness, and dishonesty. They are confused about who they really are. These people have no idea what they believe in. Their very existence depends on you. They have no stable preferences because their lives are predicated on the approval of others. They can't help but imitate others. They are so desperate for acceptance that they will not stop reflecting the society around them. Nonetheless, they would rather believe that it is entirely theirs. They have formed a fake self out of their trauma, or whatever you want to call it, and it is perfect. Everything wrong with the situation is due to other people or other things. It can do anything it wants. This works wonderfully. It has done nothing wrong. It's like a cat that bets everyone who calls it a cat on the fact that it's actually a dog. Take a time to reconsider this. If you're living a life devoid of genuineness and empathy, you might as well be pretending to be someone else. Let's pretend that somebody goes through life completely oblivious to the reality. It's hard to imagine how people might ever find joy in such a situation, because being at peace with who you are is essential to enjoying life. A narcissist, on the other hand, is incomplete. But in reality, they are only a shell of their former selves, and it is this shell that is at work in the world today. Nobody lives amid this gloom. No one is hiding below it. Really, it's only a hollow shell. In other words, it has passed away. They are unable to feel genuine emotions. A person with this condition only occasionally experiences feelings, and only the negative and weighty ones. What kind of life is that? Having their own unique style of being and operating is not a blessing in my book. Rather, I see it as a curse. Personally, I believe that is their karma. The second reason this person's life is their karma is that they never get to feel genuine love, compassion, caring, or understanding from another human being. They are trapped inside their own minds and never given the chance to explore the world. They are concentrating intensely on the demands of their ego, which they relentlessly pursue. That's the main goal after all. Success is never the goal. It's never about them just being, and they never really pay attention to themselves or the people around them. They're continuously evolving, always on the lookout for the next prey. As a species, they never stop looking for prey. They are constantly on the lookout for more of whatever it is they crave, whether it be attention, admiration, acceptance, adulation, or affirmation. Like a puppet on a string, they move in response to the attention of others around them, even though they desperately wish to think otherwise. They prefer to imagine the exact opposite of what is true, even though you and I both know that this is not the case. It's founded on their lies and ignorance. This means they will never know what it's like to fall in love. You can't truly live your life to the fullest if you never feel love. Love is a supreme and enormous feeling. In the maximum possible range, it vibrates. And if you have never experienced or given love, you have no idea what it is like to truly live. As a result, a narcissist is leading a false and unfulfilled existence, since they have no concept of what it means to be real, caring, or empathic toward others. All these presents have been taken away from them. Also, as a form of punishment, they are forced to spend their lives in total isolation. It's like being trapped inside your own head and body, with no way in or out. That's exactly the kind of predicament in which a narcissist finds themselves. Karma has it that they will never be able to play the part they dream of. People who feel this way are envious of those who have achieved what they desire, but lack the resources to accomplish so on their own. It's tragic that they can't be happy even for themselves. The third reason narcissists always get what they deserve is that they believe their current level of strength, competence, and omnipotence is permanent. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Life's cruel irony is that as it progresses, you gradually weaken and eventually pass away, losing your physical and mental capacities along the way. When the narcissist ages, though, they are taken aback by the truth. As he was getting older, my grandfather told me, I used to be very robust. The sound of my voice used to send people running in terror. Whatever it was, I wasn't expecting it. How I can be so feeble is beyond me, and that comes as a complete surprise to them. To them, the very idea of weakening is terrifying, as it would make them open to attack. And yet, at the same time, being subject to external authority, their karma manifests itself in their advancing years, as they lose their luster with age. They waste the surplus on the tactics they employ to lure victims and exploit them. That's when they start to get resentful. Naturally, ugliness, rottenness, despair, and unresolved wrath rise to the surface, and you need them. Just a gentle prod, and you'll find yourself face to face with a narcissist who is entirely out of control, quite animalistic in nature, and completely preoccupied with his or her own ego. That's their fate, because what kind of life do you have to have lived to be that unhinged, chaotic, and uncontrolled in a time when you should be at the pace? Present circumstances force you to make do with what you have available. Conducted in the past, it's time to get even now. Obviously, by the time they reach old age, they have done a great deal of damage. But ultimately, the blame falls on them. Age makes them bitter because they lose their physical power, mental acuity, and the capacity to influence other people. When everyone, even their golden children, leaves, they become more violent and eventually die out. This is the final and fourth reason. Take a good look at it. You give it your all to give them everything you can to the connection. You provided them with numerous opportunities to succeed. You started to act as their doormat. They got what they wanted out of you because you did it. To put it simply, you went above and above. You were hoping it would make them feel better. It seems like you made an effort to help them get better. You showed them extraordinary sympathy, generosity, and consideration. You acted with kindness. You gave them a piece of yourself, your very essence. You invest a great deal of time and energy into the individual in the hopes that they would finally see the truth and value in the relationship. And I could possibly like you. What more can anyone else give the narcissist that you haven't already? It's too bad a narcissist couldn't feel any of it. They treated you as though you were nothing more than a thing, and they used you because they believed it was their right to do so. Their assumption was that you were being vulnerable. Forgiving their cruelty and showing them compassion, even though they have no idea what a precious diamond they have thrown away. They had no idea that being heard, held, and loved was one of the greatest gifts someone could give. They squandered it all like a dummy. They were blissfully unaware of reality. They finally snapped and lost it. You've abandoned both them and your hair. Taking in this episode, hearing my voice, and understanding that this is not your fault. If there is anyone who has suffered a loss, it is a narcissist, for they have lost the greatest thing that they could have ever acquired or experienced. This is their karma, summed up. The life of a narcissist is one of tedium and monotony, with little excitement or interest in anything beyond the superficial. And that's a dreadful way to live. What they are left with is their karma, which is to live their life. I really do hope that this episode was useful to you and that it brought you some much-needed comfort. Please let me know in the comments if you did. Also, please subscribe and tell your friends about this episode. There needs to be a meeting soon, and I want to talk to you.